43 million Americans were eligible for President Biden's student relief plan. However, the U.S. Supreme Court knocked down that plan, denying student loan relief for millions. Mark Triplett from Triplett Westendorf Financial Group joining us now. Why was President Biden's student loan forgiveness program denied? That was a punch to the gut for so many people.
Yeah, a lot of folks were really hoping for this student loan forgiveness program to apply to them. The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that basically he overstepped his bounds in this one. The $400 billion price tag, the Supreme Court said, hey, that really needs to come from Congress. They need to vote on this, and then you can pass legislation, but you can't just do this one on your own. And so now we expect those payments to restart here later this year.
What is the effect going to have on our economy, the bigger picture beyond, individual borrowers?
That's a great question. I mean, many borrowers were expecting this to kind of go away, or at least help with some of their student loans. And now they're going to have to redirect some of that cash flow on their monthly spending away from discretionary spending, away from the economy, back to student loans. Also, we expect more loan delinquencies, which can impact the borrower's credit score and their ability to borrow to purchase automobiles, homes, et cetera. So there's some impacts here that we might see.
And I've heard talks of President Biden finding a more legally sound approach. So he's going to go after this again. What kind of timeline are we looking like? How's it got to be a different proposal?
So the White House announced relatively quickly after the Supreme Court decision they're going to go a different route. They're really going to involve the Department of Education. And in this case, they're really going to try to help the borrowers that are most vulnerable. They consider to be financially vulnerable. Number one, they want to help those folks who maybe are going to have trouble making those payments so that they don't end up getting dinged on their credit score. So beginning October of this year through September of 2024, they're expecting that those that have delinquent payments that are considered to be vulnerable borrowers, they're not going to have that delinquency reported to the credit bureaus. Also looking at maybe making it available for those making less than $15 an hour to actually not have to make payments at all. Now, well, I'll just say that there are many other factors to this plan. If it applies to you, I would say there might be successful challenges to this new plan as well. And if you have student loans that you have outstanding, that just start planning to make payments beginning October.
Beginning in October. I know some people did get more extravagant with their spending, thinking that they were not going to have to pay off as much debt. So now it's sort of like picking up a potentially worse financial situation. What is your advice moving forward? What should borrowers do to prepare to pay off full amounts of their student debt?
First of all, take inventory. Look at all of your student loans. You might have multiple student loans over the years. Tally those all up, figure out how much you owe and how long it's really going to take you to pay off by making those payments on a regular basis. And then review your spending plan. We call it the spending plan, but you know it as the budget. Make sure that your cash flow is going in the appropriate places. Try to find some of those discretionary dollars that maybe you're spending on things that aren't bringing value to your life and using those to pay off some of those student loans. And then automate your payments. I mean, really consider making automatic payments. We always encourage that. Making automatic payments to your retirement plans. Well, make automatic payments to your student loans so that you're not tempted to spend those dollars elsewhere. They just kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Definitely something we're going to continue to follow up with as the months go on and we get back to those payments, and hopefully there will be relief in sight for the millions of people hoping for it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mark. Always great to have you.
Thanks for having me, Sam.